What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, we have some interesting news. As legendary promoter, top-ranked CEO and promoter, Bob Arum, who promotes two-time Olympic gold medalist, three-division world champion, former unified lightweight world champion, Ukrainian superstar boxer, Vasiliy Lomachenko, 16 wins, 2 losses, no draws, 11 wins by way of knockout, 33 years of age, 5'6" with a 66-inch arm reach. With that said, we know Vasiliy Lomachenko is dealing with a very important issue that's taking place between his country, the Ukraine, and Russia currently as it stands. And so Vasiliy Lomachenko, he's on the front lines and he's 10 toes down on his soil, and that's what he's focused on. So initially, Vasiliy Lomachenko agreed to a 2-fight deal to face undefeated, newly crowned unified lightweight world champion Australian star boxer George Kambosos Jr., who has 20 wins, no losses, no draw, 10 wins by way of knockout. George Kambosos is 28 years of age, 5'9.5" with a 68-inch arm reach, to face off June 4th, and a rematch should Lomachenko win in Australia. Both fights will take place in Australia. Well, Bob Arum has revealed that George Kambosos Jr., who also was negotiating with undefeated WBC lightweight world champion superstar boxer Devin "The Dream" Haney, who is 27 wins, no loss and no draw, 15 wins by way of knockout. He is 23 years of age, 5'8" with a 72-inch arm reach. In an undisputed showdown, Devin Haney is also willing to oblige George Kambosos and go to Australia. Well, now Bob Arum, he releases this, and he states that he understands that George Kambosos Jr., his team, Lou DiBella, his promoter, were holding out in hopes that they could face off against Vasiliy Lomachenko, who Bob Arum promotes. And now he stated that Lomachenko is over in his country, in the Ukraine. Lomachenko has the furthest thing from on his mind is the sport of boxing. And now Bob Arum has informed Lou DiBella, he has informed George Kambosos Jr. that they need to move on, go ahead and face Devin Haney or make other plans, because Lomachenko is no longer available. He's not an option anymore. So Bob Arum has clarified. He stated that they were holding out hopes. They were prolonging everything, which lets you know they were prolonging the negotiations with Devin Haney, okay, because they were hoping that they secure a fight with Devin Lomachenko. So with that said, he stated that they held out long enough, and they're going to have to move on now, because Vasiliy Lomachenko is not available, and he won't be available for the foreseeable future. As we already knew, as Lomachenko, along with plenty of other Ukrainian superstar boxers, such as two-division world champion, Olympic gold medalist, former undisputed cruiserweight turned unified heavyweight, Oleksandr Usyk. He was supposed to fight Anthony Joshua April, May. He's off the table, okay? You have guys, Sergey Derevyanchenko. You have Victor Postol. Victor Postol just fought, but he wasn't focused. He got stopped in his fight with Gary Anton Russell. He was focusing on back home, okay? So there's plenty of fighters from the Ukraine, and you have legends like Vladimir and Vitaly Klitschko, who are pleading with the sports world not to allow Russian fighters to compete in sports, to be able to send money back through through the pipeline to help fund this situation. So it's just a situation where Lomachenko just simply will not be ready. Okay, he's not going to be available for a June 4th fight. June 4th is going to be 2 months and a week away from where we are today. Lomachenko is not going to be able to come back home, change his mindset from what he's witnessing and going through currently in the situation he's currently in, come back here, focus on training camp, get his mind back in sports mode, to compete against George Kambosos Jr. To do what? You have to understand, at this current time, Lomachenko is worrying about his friends and his family back home in the Ukraine. If Lomachenko was to win the fight in Australia, and on top of the fighters in Australia, which means he's going to have to cut his camp short here in the States, and he's going to have to go over to Australia at least a week or 2 weeks ahead of time to get acclimated to being over there. And let's say he does win the fight. What is it all for in the eyes of Lomachenko, when his concern is going to be his friends and family, okay? He does not going to have a peace of mind. So he just wouldn't be available for a fight in June. Okay, so with that said, Bob Arum has let it be known now and cleared up everything. So now you don't have to wonder if Vasiliy Lomachenko is an option, because he eased George Kambosos and Lou DiBella's mind. He's not an option. He's off the table. Go ahead and move on. Make the fight happen with Devin Haney. So we got great news, because then Bill Haney, father, trainer, manager, and CEO of DHP, Devin Haney Promotions, he contacted me and he let me know that indeed George Kambosos Jr.'s promoter Lou DiBella contacted him and stated that they want to get a deal done. So that's great news, okay? So now he let it be known that they want to get a deal done. They want to negotiate. They want to make the fight happen. So I'm sure it's going to be a 2-fight deal that takes place over in Australia, but history and legacy is going to be on the line. This is a legacy fight for both guys, okay? There's never been undisputed 4 major sanction belt lineal champion in the glamour division like the lightweight division, okay? There's only 6 current undisputed champions to hold all 4 major belts in the history of the sport of boxing, which is Bernard Hopkins at 1, Jermaine Taylor, who beat Bernard Hopkins, Terrence Crawford came in at number 3 in the junior welterweight division. Then you had Alexander Usyk at number 4 at the cruiserweight division. Then you had Josh Taylor, who did so again in the junior welterweight division. And most recently, you have Canelo Alvarez, who did so at the super middleweight division. So there's only 6 undisputed champions to hold all 4 belts and the linealship in the division. So now we do have a fight coming up May 14th. A rematch in the Undisputed Showdown between Jermell Charlo and Brian Castano. So the winner of that fight is going to be the 7th Undisputed Champion, because this fight between Devin Haney and George Kambosos Jr. will be in June. So it'll be a month later, okay? Well, 3 weeks later, after 2 to 3 weeks after Jermell Charlo, Brian Castano. So the winner of that fight is going to become the 7th champion in history, okay, to become undisputed. And Devin Haney, George Kambosos Jr., winner will be the 8th champion, okay? So history is on their side. George Kambosos Jr. is going to get the biggest payday of his career. He has the contract. Okay, we already know that Devin Haney has revealed that he's sent him the contract. George Kambosos has the contract. We already know that, Devin Haney's willing to oblige and go to Australia, and he's going to get the biggest payday of his career. And it only makes sense because it's for undisputed. Okay, this is what I thought should have happened initially anyway. It's unfortunate that it happens in the manner it's happening, because Vasiliy Lomachenko didn't want it to be not the option because of these circumstances, okay? I didn't want Vasiliy Lomachenko not to get the fight because of the circumstances at hand. But nonetheless, Vasiliy Lomachenko, he has to deal with the situation at hand. Who knows when he's going to come back in the ring? It's just like we have Anthony Joshua, who was the 2-time unified heavyweight world champion, British superstar boxer, who was supposed to fight in an immediate rematch to regain his titles against Alexander Usyk. Well, now he's looking to have an interim fight, okay, a stay busy fight. He wants a big fight. He's saying that he wants a big fight, but he has to stay active, okay? And it's unfortunate. And the sanction bodies are not going to strip Alexander Usyk in this situation, okay? Now, Lomachenko, he's not a champion, but just giving an example is that, Anthony Joshua, he has to look for a replacement opponent. He's not counting on or waiting for Alexander Usyk, because Alexander Usyk is not available, okay? His mindset is in a completely different place, and so he's just not simply available. So with that said, this is the same thing that George Kambosos Jr. should have been doing from the beginning, but it shows you that George Kambosos Jr. truly didn't want the fight with Devin Haney like he said he wanted to fight. Initially, he was saying he wanted to fight. He was the boss, and he wanted to make the fight with Devin Haney because he knew he had to beat Devin Haney to become undisputed. Well, he has since changed his tune, and he labeled all his social media titles as undisputed, okay? He stated that he wanted a legacy fight. Well, this is a legacy fight. So now it's going to happen, okay? It's going to play out in a manner that it should play out. So with that said, now we're going to get more than likely Devin Haney versus George Kambosos Jr. June 4th, okay, in Australia, in the Down Under, as they call it, okay? And I'm sure that it'll be a rematch clause, just like Lomachenko agreed to. Devin Haney is willing to agree to the same negotiations and stipulations and demands from George Kambosos Jr. So Bob Arum has cleared it up and let the world know Lomachenko is not on the table. He's not an option. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV. All one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share the videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.